Hey everyone and welcome. We are Next Level Business Advisors and this is Business Stories of Success. If you want to break through and achieve your own business success by learning from other successful business owners, you're in the right channel. For more of our content, make sure you click subscribe and don't forget the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when new videos are added. Enjoy today's video.
Hello. You're with Marc Adams at Next Level Business Advisors, and today we are joined by Miss Chela Hardy of AskChela LLC. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. I'm very excited to talk to you.
Me too. We're going to jump right into it. I know you have been in business for decades.
Wow.
Right? Hey, truth is truth, right? I got decades too. And I love to speak to business owners who've been around for a while, because that means that you're going to share some amazing gems with us because you have experience. It's that simple, right? And
Yep.
what I loved when we chatted was that you are a pioneer in your industry. So tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business, who you are, and your business, Ask Chela LLC.
Okay. So at its core, AskChela is a virtual assistance firm, and that's how I began. Originally, I offered general admin services, but now I have focused on the publishing industry. So it's kind of morphed into something a bit more, but that's who it is. That's who I am. At its core, we offer services that help people, business owners who are often authors and speakers, that help them. We do offer services that help them build their business and take off some of those things that they shouldn't be working on. They should be focusing on building their business. And so that's what I do. And I've been doing since 2001, as you said, decades. Yep.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. So now, in 2001, that means that you've been in the game for 21 years. And I said you're a pioneer, right? Why did I say you're a pioneer? Just break that down for people who don't understand that you're a pioneer in this virtual assistant game.
So like I was telling you when we first met, and I wish I had capitalized on this, but I relocated from Connecticut to Northern Virginia the very week that the whole dot-com bust happened. And my history, work experience has always been as an executive assistant. It's all I really knew. And so when I came down here and things changed and I realized getting a job was going to be harder than I anticipated, I said, well, I'm going to take my EA skill set. I'm going to go to small businesses because I love small businesses. And I'm going to say, if I can piece together a 40-hour work week by getting 10 hours from this company, 10 hours from another, and, because they weren't really hiring full-time positions, I thought I will have this 40-hour work week. That's how my business began. It was called something else at the time, but that's how I got that idea for working virtually and working for small business owners. And then it just kind of went from there. That was 2001. And around 2003 is when the whole virtual assistance industry really began to take shape and form. And so what I had been doing for 2 years, now it was out there and people were beginning to see that it could be done. And I wish that I had documented what I had done. I consider myself still a thought leader in this industry, but
you have to be. Yeah. I mean, and it's incredible. I'm not good at conceiving new business ideas. I'm really good if someone comes to me and says, this is my idea. And then I say, okay, wow, I love that idea. Let's blow it up. Like if I met you 20 years ago and you said, this is what I'm doing, I could have said to you 20 years ago, oh, that's amazing. Let's blow, right? But to conceive it is awesome. So you were able to conceive preconceived a new industry. But the nice part about it, and what I love talking with when I was chatting with you, is that, just because you have a great idea, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to sustain and be in business. You still were able to do it, and you've been doing it for 20 years or so. And that's
for good and for bad. Yeah.
Hey, and that's the journey of a business owner, right?
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. What role do you play in your business? I always ask people that. What role do you play?
So I technically am a one-woman show. So it's me by myself making the business decisions, doing the marketing, doing all of that, just kind of handling the whole business. Though I am learning to kind of bring in some independent contractors to help with certain things. But really, I'm in the day-to-day activity of everything.
Okay, good. So we call that the solopreneur.
Correct.
Right. And I have this saying that I've been using for the past year. So I was doing a mindset. The entrepreneur walks alone.
Mhm.
All right. We do everything. But you just made an interesting point, and I want to just dig in if you don't mind. You said you are now learning, it's
Yeah.
after 20 years, to bring in subcontractors. Why are you doing that now?
Because I realized that, burnout can become a major factor in a business. When you're a control freak like I am, it's hard to let go and believe that people are going to do the work or the same at the same level that you would. But that really comes down to just being a great hiring manager, finding someone who can deliver the same way you do. And because I've been careful over the years, before kind of pulling someone into my business, I've met people like that where it's like, okay, you know what, you can let this go. You can let that person take on that task. They'll do just fine. And in that way, you can grow your business or position yourself to take on more work if that's what you're trying to do, and leave some of the other things to your team.
Beautiful. And I love that word team. One of the things we're letting go, it involves mindset.
Correct.
And I was speaking to someone today about that they teach mindset. Who was that? Oh, that was you.
I was gonna say, oh, wait a minute.
I'm only
Yeah.
asking that question because I want you to dig into that. You have a good business, right? Your virtual assistant, but you mentioned that you teach mindset, and it's important, I think, just because it probably ties into your business success. So I want you to talk about that a little bit, because people need to learn all the components of what can make them successful. So talk to me about how you're implementing your own mindset techniques to allow you to scale, if you don't mind.
I think that so the core of it is, you can have all the skill set in the world, but if you don't have the proper mindset, you may not get to where you want to be in your business. I feel like so that you obviously want to be positive, you want to be able to have people feel you and what you do and want to work with you. That's all about your mindset. It starts with saying, hey, I can do this business. I can be successful. I can make this work for me. So having that proper mindset is what's important. So I know there are a lot of people teaching a lot of different things in various industries. For the virtual assistance industry, I'm not teaching skill set. I'm teaching mindset. Let's get you excited about your business. Let's teach you how to make that come out in your pitches and your elevator, speeches. And then that way you'll attract that law of attraction that comes back to that. You'll attract the kind of clients that you want to work with. Mindset is absolutely important.
It absolutely is, especially if you want to, I'm going to say, grow and scale.
Yes.
Because it's going to require adjustments to what you're used to doing in order to get to that next level. And adjustments start in the mind. It starts with the thought, and we can quickly dispel the thought or say it's not possible. My coach, and I'm a coach, but coaches have coaches, uses the term self-limiting doubt. Right?
Yes.
So we have to get rid of that self-limiting doubt. That's mindset. So I just wanted to jump into that a little bit, but I'm digressing because I didn't do my homework yet, my bookkeeping.
Okay.
I always ask my client, my guests, not my clients, my guests, if someone wants to find you, they need to work with you. I need a fantastic virtual assistant. How do I find Chela? So please, how do we find you?
So I made my business name ultimately. Like I said in the beginning, it's been many different things, but it has come down to AskChela LLC. So my website is AskChela.com. And from there, it'll also take you to my services delivery side, authorandspeakerservices.com.
Love it. Love it. Now, AskChela.com. I'm going to ask Chela to please spell that, because that is not a common name. And this podcast is audio and visual. So people are like, okay, how do I spell that? How do I find this? Go ahead.
So Ask, ASK, and my name is spelled CHELA. So AskChela.com.
Okay, perfect. And that's the best way to reach you for your services and your assistance. Awesome. Very nice. You mentioned that you've been in business for over 20 years, and you said that, well, you didn't say, but I know you're an expert, because 20 years and does an expert make mostly, and you come into it from a background. But let me ask you this question. You moved from Connecticut down to where you are now, and then you made this leap. Why didn't you just go back into the corporate world? Why did you decide to start your own business? And this is a question that people often have to grapple with.
I actually had no intention of starting my own business. I'll back up by saying that my father he was an entrepreneur and raised us to be that way. So I've always had, that in me. I intended to come down and just go to corporate America like I had always done because I was an executive assistant. I thought, well, jobs were pretty plentiful. But because of my timing, when I got down here, I mean, when I say the very week of the whole .com thing, where I live is called the Silicon Valley of the Northeast. So it's the Dulles corridor, which is where Dulles Airport is here in Virginia. Lots of shiny buildings. So lots of jobs, lots of headquarters of major brands are here. And I thought, well, I'll just come down and grab a job like I normally do. But that wasn't happening because those buildings were now empty. So out of desperation, I figured I have to have money coming in. What do I do? This is what I know, executive assistants. But because, again, the entrepreneurial spirit in me says, well, let me approach the small businesses who are being affected in the same way. They can't hire full time anymore. So maybe they'll go for this 10-hour a week plan. And like I said, if I could just piece together like 4 clients giving me 10 hours each, there would be my 40-hour work week. And I kind of fell into this industry. And it stayed like that for the first couple of years.
Wow. So after the first couple of years, how did you decide I'm going to stick with it? I want to keep going. This is great. I want to evolve. How did you do that? What made you say, I'm going to go the distance?
So it didn't evolve in the beginning. It was a mess. It just wasn't going well at all. But I kept persevering and I kept putting my plan together. I called myself a freelance administrative assistant at the time. It was not going well. And so I did go back to corporate America, and I've done that more than once where I've gone back. But yeah, because I've had to, the job, everything changed. And if I didn't have confidence in myself for a while, then I would not be able to maintain my client base. So, and then I became ill very seriously back in 2005. And while I was on disability, I have heart issues. While I was on disability, I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to keep up the pace at this time. What do I do once they end my disability? And again, we go back to virtual assistants. So I always kept my hand in it. And even though I returned to corporate America, like I said, a few times over the years, I always kept my hand in the virtual assistance world because I believe in it, and I figured someday I'm going to come back to it, and I have.
Awesome. I remember when I started my business several years ago. It's been 20 now, and I was doing everything alone. There was a point when I was like, I need help, and I couldn't, small business owner, I couldn't afford to pay somebody, and found like a virtual assistant, and boy, it really helped with the business. So I know how valuable your services are and can be, especially for businesses that can't hire full time, or they need project work, and so it's awesome that you were able to take this and continue on all these years, and now you're helping others to do that. So that's beautiful. I'm going to pivot a little bit. Our podcast is entitled Stories of Success. So I ask everybody that I talk to, how do you define success?
So it looks differently for everybody, right? For me, I look at it like, because I am managing an illness, a chronic illness. Success for me means being able to get up, do some work with clients that I love, because that's very important at this stage in the game. Take my nap, Marc, every day for 2 to 3 hours, and then be able to get up later and come back to some of the California side clients. Success for me means I'm managing my health. I'm working, I'm making the money I need, but I'm also giving attention to my health by getting the rest I need. And only taking on clients that are not, that don't give me stress, and I mean that. So success means being able to pick and choose, really, to say no to clients that won't work for my schedule or my temperament. That's success, being able to just pick and choose who I can work with, and then having them be respectful of my time and my abilities.
I love that. I love that. So you get a daily siesta.
Every day. I have to, because the medication I take for my heart puts me to sleep. So it's going to happen anyway. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually block the time on my calendar, and my clients will say, oh, Chela, before you go down for your nap, let me just ask you a question. So we're all very aware that Chela needs to take her nap from this time to this time, but they also know that I'll be checking in later on that day if something else is coming, and
Wow.
that's the success that I need right now.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And one other thing I want to just dig into with that. And to me, your definition for success is lovely. One of the things that I want to really share with business owners, and you just mentioned it, was you have crafted your business to work for you, not the other way around.
Mhm.
There are far too many business owners, and I advise so many different business owners who feel that, well, the customer won't do, or the client won't accept this, and I have to. No, 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 no. No, no, no. You craft your business to work for you. Now, to me, the secret to success, and I want you to chime in, so I'm asking you, in order to make that work, is once you've crafted it to work for you, you communicate to your audience what you've crafted.
Yes.
And if you can communicate it, then it'll work. Do you agree with that?
I do. So that expectations are everything. So they're aware of what you're going to do, what you're going to accept, and you're aware of the same of them. That way, whether it's going to work. A discovery call will tell you some of that information, most of that information. A quick call, 30 minutes, will determine whether or not you and I will be a good fit. And that way you decide
Absolutely.
how to go
Absolutely.
forward.
Yeah. And I know you feel that way because you just told me that, in essence, when you said that your clients tell you, oh, Chela, before you go down for your nap, which means that they know that I have this much time and I'm not to disturb. And it works, right?
Mhm. It works.
It works. It works.
And I talk about my naps to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a joke, and it is a joke. I call it Mark takes Black Fridays, because the black guy gets off on Fridays.
Oh, hilarious. I love
Right.
it.
So my clients, and I do it all the time. I mean, throughout the year, except during tax season. Next year, it's going to change. So it'll be mid-tax season, and a client of mine, especially my long-term clients where I do a lot of advisory work. Well, I know I can't talk to you on Friday. No, I'll be in on this Friday. Really? What?
Yeah.
So you manage expectations and you don't have any problems. So now when I'm not here, and I'm not here on Fridays, no one expects me to be.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And you can have that success. So I love your definition of success. I love how you have communicated it. I guess this ties into my next question. Do you consider your business successful? And if so, how have you made it such?
I do consider it successful now. In the past, I would have said no, because I'm not sure I had the right definition in mind. And then there was the reality of it. It was not successful. Now that I've gotten to this point, yeah, I consider it successful because it gives me the money that I need. It gives me the fulfillment inside that I need. I love working with authors and speakers. And again, I crafted it this way because I started out as a generalist, like I said, but once I learned that I could provide services specifically to an audience that I love to work with, I began looking for ways to do that. And I found programs and certifications and different training situations that gave me the skill set to work with that client base. So being very intentional, which is a word I love, really, really intentional about who I'm going to serve, knowing, first of all, identifying who I'm going to serve, and then how can I offer them services that will help them grow their business, get their books done or whatever, because in the long run, they're going to look for return on investment. Can I provide that? Well, if I have the skill set that I can. So being very intentional.
I like that. And that is one of my new favorite words, by the way, intentional. Because if you're intentional, you will get to your goal.
Yes.
If we're not intentional, maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. We don't know, right? But intentional is different. And you also use a phrase that I key in on certain phrases that people say, especially when I'm talking to them like this, because I think that they need to be highlighted and spotlighted so that other business owners can say, oh, right. If I can, right? So you said, who I'm going to serve.
Yes.
Right. So as a business owner, sometimes we think, who is going to pay me?
Right. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's important. I mean, you got to get paid, but
Right.
it is about service. And if we have the mindset that we're serving people, then they will gladly pay us. So
Exactly.
sometimes we have to change even, and again, mindset, right? We have to change the way we're looking at the people that we're working with, right?
Correct.
Especially for those of us in the service-based business. When I'm advising somebody, it's not about, let me just keep talking till I cut the check.
Right.
It's let me
Right.
see if I can add value to their business, right? I'm trying to help you grow your business. I'm trying to help you reach new heights. And if you do that, I'm serving you, then they're going to be happy to reciprocate, right? To give you what you need. So I love that term. Thank you for sharing that. Being intentional and the mindset of service, I think it's really powerful. And so that's helped make you successful.
Yes, that has led to finally, once I discovered that secret, it's made my business successful at the level
Nice.
that I want it to be. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. Let me ask you this question. I'm going to turn a little bit because you said you weren't always successful. So have
Right.
you made mistakes in business?
I have made mistakes in business.
What?
I have made some mistakes in business. Some of them were client damaging every now and then.
Okay.
Most of them were just my not believing in my business and giving up too soon, missing out on the prize because I let myself be influenced by someone else's opinion, so there are mistakes that were made along the way,
Okay.
but
Mhm.
I'm still standing. So,
Now that's what I want to key in on because everybody makes mistakes.
mhm.
So how are you able to overcome the mistakes in your business?
I think a lot of it, let's say if it's client damaging, if you've already done good work for this client, you're a rock star for this client, and then there comes that one time where you do drop the ball. The client is usually, if all the perfect storm of elements have come together, they'll just say, okay, we just got to get past this. Let's fix it. And that's the important thing, doing good work all the way, all along, and really repping your brand. I want AskChela to be that place where you can come to get this done. If I make a mistake, I'm going to own it, and then we're going to move forward. So I haven't lost a client because of a mistake. We've had to work a little bit harder to maybe, the effects of the mistake to kind of lessen those. But doing the good work, being apologetic and owning it, and then being willing to do what it takes to turn it around. Clients, they appreciate that. So I'm always going to just be a rock star in whatever you do, and it will help you overcome mistakes.
I like it. And I like what you said about owning it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, nobody's perfect.
Buddy.
I haven't met a perfect person yet. And so we all will make mistakes in our business, no matter how good we are, right? But one of the keys to overcoming it, one of the keys to success, own it. And then come up with a solution.
And that's the thing, come up with the solution yourself, present that to the client,
Yeah.
Spend the time, Googling this and figuring out that and tapping into your connections here. And let's see if we can, don't wait for them to do that. You try to do it, and then you present it, and then the two of you can possibly work something out where it does work. And the end client is still left with a good taste in their mouth about you.
Yeah. And you're right. I think that most clients, they appreciate that, hey, I messed up and you do so-and-so, and I'm sorry. And hope it all works out for you. But
right. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. But when you come and you say, hey, I messed up and this is what I think we can do. Here are 3 options. And I think sometimes they're more impressed.
Yep.
Because if they're realistic, they know that mistakes happen. So
exactly.
Nice. So don't let your mistakes, I'm just going to say this, don't let your mistakes compound, right? Make sure that you come up with the solution, the remedy to overcome it. And that's what we do as business owners if we're going to be successful.
We have to. And you're allowed to do the ugly cry when you make a mistake and you're fearing that you might lose this client, but wipe your tears and figure it out and then see what happens from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember one huge mistake I made on a client's work, and I was sitting in my office, and it was on a Saturday, which is it's one of those days like, oh, let me come in and do it. and I felt this poof in my brain, like this heat flash in my. I was like, oh my God. And I was terrified because the mistake was huge. And when I told him, he was like, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, rockstar work all along allows you to have some grace. Now I better not do it again.
Exactly. Right.
But that's cool. Very cool. We learn from our mistakes, right? We learn from our mistakes.
We do because and like I made a mistake earlier this year. I was devastated. I had been following a checklist of things all along. I veered off from that. And at the end, I realized with this particular book launch I was doing that I had missed some steps, important. That sent me back to my processes. I was like, okay, checks and balances are everything. So don't get so complacent that you just, I can get away from this. Follow those processes. I'd rather overdo than not do enough. So
I like it. I love that. Checks and systems.
Yeah.
Work, people. Systems work.
They do.
Develop your systems. And you know what you mentioned earlier about adding to your team.
Mhm.
If you want to scale your business, and I'm talking about everybody who's listening, if you want to scale your business and you want to grow, you had better come up with your systems, because then you can plug people into it and say, this is my system and this is what makes it work. And now you follow my system. And as the owner, you can check in on the system.
Right.
And so that's a nice, I'm glad you mentioned that. So you have different checklists when you're doing certain projects.
Well, that's the admin part of me, when you're an executive assistant, you better not drop the ball for your exec. So the admin part of me says, let's make this system, this process, this checklist. And that way I can just check myself every week with a status report. I don't even have to send that status report to anyone else, but if I can see that I have hit all the marks that week, then I'm good,
Yeah. I like it. And I'm telling you, it really, I have been playing around with a lot of different things for my own clients. And like that's so critical to have a checklist per client or per project, especially as an owner. You're dealing with all kinds of clients. So I have clients who call me and say, hey, remember we talked about we did? I'm like, I have no clue. Like no clue that I spoke to you about. I mean, I deal with so many different people a day or a week or a month. I don't. So how am I supposed to? So checklist, right?
Exactly.
Okay, right. So exactly. I love it. Cool. Let me ask you this. I'm going to pivot again, and I want to talk about qualities. What's the single most important quality you think is required in order to be a successful owner?
So I think determination, because I think a lot of things feed into determination. If you are determined to do well in your business, then the naysayers, you can just, brush them off. When you have downtimes, times are lean, or you make a mistake, you can move past it because you're determined to make your business successful. Everything I think can be accomplished if you just are determined. You maintain your focus and just everything. You're willing to be a lifelong learner because you're determined to be current and relevant with your skill set. So I think that's, for me, I think that's it. When I look back at what I've been doing the past 22 years, determination. I was determined to make this work.
I like it. Determination. I've heard that one before, and I agree with it. You have to be, especially as a small business owner, you have to have a level of determination, because you will have peaks and you will have valleys, right?
Yes.
And so when you're in that valley, and it could be a long valley, you have to be determined to make it work. So I like it. Very nice. How have mentors? Have you had any mentors or coaches in your business journey?
Unofficially, I would say so. And I'm not even sure they were aware they were mentoring me, but unofficially, I look at thought leaders who I really feel are not just talking the talk, but they're walking it. And those are the people that I'm looking at what they're doing. There may be a network, a connection that I have. I kind of study what other people are doing. So that way you're not reinventing the wheel necessarily, but you're looking to see what people are doing and adapting it to you, to fit you.
Very nice.
And I think that's important. Why not? And it could be that they did something and failed at it, but you're like, well, if I do it a little differently with my personality, this could work for me. So in that way, I let people mentor me and coach me without them even knowing that I'm watching.
Okay, I like it. It's always good to look at others, like you said. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already been invented. Right?
Yes, yes.
So I love it. What advice would you give to a new business owner?
I would say, I still say watching what other people are doing is important. Because if you can kind of look and see where they've made mistakes, it can help you shape your business more quickly. It can help you choose your niche more quickly if that's what you choose to do, and talk about your business. I really feel like in the beginning, I didn't talk about it. I wasn't confident enough to tell people what I was doing. So making connections and networking, and the more you talk about, the more comfortable you feel, and that way it comes across to people and they buy into what you say you can do to help them grow their business. So be willing to talk about your business and network.
I like that. I think a lot of times we're shy and apprehensive when talking about ourselves, you know, our business or what we can do for people. But you're right. If you're the best kept secret, it's gonna be a tough business to have. You gotta be out there.
Yeah. And I think there's a way to do it that's not icky. You know, people, if you say, hey, I've got a business, no one wants to hear that, but if you are connecting with someone and they voice a concern or an issue, you could follow that up with a quick email. Hey, I know we talked about this, and so I saw this article the other day that you might like. Boom. You didn't solicit their business. You simply were showing that you were thinking of them. I've gotten more clients that way by simply showing personal interest, shooting a link to an article I thought could be helpful to them. And then they say, what is it that you do? And we talk and we can move forward.
Right. I like that. So it's not about when you say talk about your business, it's not, hi, my name is Chela and this is what I do and here are my rates. Hi, my name is Marc and I'm a business advisor and I want to help you grow. It's just getting to know people.
Getting to know people. It's
building relationships.
Sell when they just sell. Yeah, building relationships are important. Nurturing those relationships by just listening and adding value to the conversation without constantly selling. People like that.
I completely agree. Awesome. Very nice. One final question, if you don't mind. You kind of fell into your business. You kind of, and you made it work, but you fell into it. You said you were a visionary, even though you didn't realize you were a visionary.
Yeah.
If you could go to right before you started your business, what advice would you give yourself?
To right before I started it, plan a little better so that, and that doesn't necessarily mean sitting down and writing a business plan, but just take all the stuff, do that dump from your head, all the stuff you're thinking, scribble notes, and that will help you find your path more quickly so that you're not striking the air, you're not all over the place. And then that way you could get to where you need to be a little bit more quickly. I believe in just making random bullet point notes, because if I'm sitting down and writing a plan, it's a little hard unless I'm writing a marketing plan for somebody. Just do the brain dump. And there's a lot of creativity in the brain dump. And from that, you can make a plan that works for you. I wish I had done that a little bit more, but it happened to work out. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you would have been successful 3 years earlier, 2 years earlier, 6 months earlier. But you know what? Sounds like you made it anyway.
I have made it to where I want to be. Yeah.
Love it. Hey, that's all it's about. Like every business, and I think that's important to highlight, right? Someone might look at my business and say, that guy's not successful. Or they might look at your business and say, that girl is, she's still a solopreneur. It's what we want for our success. And then once we hit it, we lean back and we enjoy it.
And that's where I am right now. I'm glad that this works for me the way I've set it up. Maybe a single mom needs this, this person needs that, but this is what Chela needs right now to work in a way that she can enjoy her work and manage her health and get her naps every day.
There you go, girl. I'm not mad at you. I might start incorporating a nap in myself. I like to get a good nap on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, it helps you. And you're refreshed and you can keep working if you choose to.
I love it. I love it. Well, Chela, this has been a blast. I want to thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing to see your journey to success.
Thank you, Marc.